It's always the sound. There we go. All right. Let me see. Make sure it's doing it here. Good. There we go. All right. Now I think it's all set. All right. So hello, everybody. It's been a while since I've done a Hangout. And this is going to be a little different than I usually do. I'm going to be chatting with a guest, a new person who I just found on YouTube. I've seen him in other Hangouts. He's going to be joining me shortly. I sent him the invite. Let me see. I'm just going to do this for about an hour. It's not going to be very long. We're just going to be chatting about some random stuff. And let me see. Okay, I got the chat here. Okay. Nobody's in the chat room. And let me see here. Okay. So cool. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing all right. Hey, how's it going, Aramia? Aramia. I'm trying to remember how you phonetically wrote it out for me. I think it was Aramea. Aramea. How's it going, Aramea? Let's see. Okay, it's definitely live. Or, well, hey, nobody. Yeah, well, I just started a little early. Arime. Hey, Arime. How's it going? I will try to remember that. So, like I said earlier, I don't know if you heard Arime. I have somebody who's going to be joining me. He's not. I don't know if he's a new YouTuber, but I just found him on YouTube, and I've seen him in a couple of Hangouts, and so I thought it'd be a good idea to just sit down and chat with him. I also invited a couple of other people to join me, and we'll just be chatting for about an hour, because there's an interview that I want to catch at 7 p.m. So I don't want to go too long. Let me see. I sent him, I think, let me see. Let me make sure I sent him the correct link. Yep, I sent it to him. All right, okay. He might be having some trouble getting into the Hangout. Irish Pug, hey, Irish Pug, how's it going? You'll join? All right, cool. Let me send you the link, Irish Pug. I think, am I following you on Twitter, Irish Pug? I know that I think you had to change Twitter accounts, right? So let me see. Let me see if you're in here. That was a joke? Oh, okay. All right, fine. Hell doesn't exist, Irish Pug. You know that, right? I hate to break it to you. I don't know. The way it's going, I think we're actually living in hell right now. I swear everybody around me is losing their freaking mind. Hey, how's it going, Red Devil?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Let me check my settings. First of all, chat people, can you hear me? There we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I hear me on your end. Do you have headphones?
Yeah, I'm on. I've got a headset on, but you're still hearing yourself?
Yeah, I still hear myself.
Let me see. I don't know how those. I've never used this before, so it might take me a second. What the heck?
It's the audio should be going to your headphones.
Yeah, it is in my headphones. That's why I don't know. Maybe my headphones are just up too loud. Let me try turning them down.
Let me see. Yeah, I hear myself. I have headphones too. I don't know if I'll have to. Let me see if maybe it's on my end.
I'm using a headset plugged into my phone.
I'll switch. Yeah, because it's very loud. Let me see. And now I switched to headphones. Yeah, I still hear the echo.
Huh. We'll try some stuff.
Okay. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I'm just going to mute you real quick, okay?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So let me switch back to my regular headphones. There we go. All right. So hopefully everybody. Yeah, I know. Yeah, thanks, Mary. Yeah, I think it's on his end. Actually, I know it's on his end. All right. So anyhow, so I invited a couple of people to join me. Let me see. Double checking. Yep. Okay. All right. Just checking to see if anybody else wanted to invite me, or not invite me, but be invited. So yeah. So anyhow, so I just wanted to do a hangout. Red Devil is somebody who I've seen in other hangouts, and we've exchanged a couple of words, and he does. No, not exchanged a couple of words. That sounds bad. we've chatted a bit in chat rooms. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that sounds better. And I caught a couple of his videos, and he makes some pretty good videos. And I'm always trying to reach out and find new people on the internet. And so I just thought I would reach out to him and get to know him better. Because there's so many people on YouTube, and it's so hard to find new people because we spend so much time just trying to promote our own channels and keep up with the people we do watch. It's really difficult to find new people. That's one of the reasons why I've done a lot of the gem series that I did, so that we could find new people out there. And I'll have to ask him, but I believe he's an atheist. If I wasn't a fetus, I would goon YouTube. If I wasn't a fetus, I would goon YouTube. What the hell does goon mean? If I wasn't a fetus, I would goon YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what that means, Irish Buck. Maybe that's some weird Irish slang. You people over in Ireland, you talk so funny. You're still echoing, Red Devil.
Crap. Okay.
What are you on a phone or laptop? Or
I'm on a phone. I have a headset plugged into it, though.
You're on a phone. Okay, and it's echoing. And it's going to your headset. Shoot, you don't have a laptop, huh? Or desktop?
Well, I have a desktop, but I don't think it'll work with it because I've tried plugging the headset into there. I could try.
What is the setting that you have in the Google Hangouts on your phone?
I'm not sure. Let me check that. I've never used Hangouts before, so.
Okay. Allegedly in Ireland.
Yeah, I'll just mute. I'm gonna mute myself again for a minute.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, Irish. For some reason, I just assumed that you were in Ireland. I guess because of your name, I just assumed. Also, I've been in a hangout with you before, and you had an accent, so I assumed that you were from Ireland. But what the hell do I know? Who's the Red Devil? All right, so sitting here in silence as everybody's watching. Okay, so let me see. Allegedly in Ireland, I've never been on a hangout with you. Oh, really? That's odd. I thought you were Irish. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else then. My mistake. Sorry.
Okay, is it still you still getting an echo?
Let me talk for a second. No, no, I'm not hearing an echo.
Okay, yeah. I just had to turn down the volume. I guess my my headphones are just so loud that it was picking it up through its own mic. I just turned the volume down a little bit.
Okay. Oh, okay, so that's probably what it was.
Yeah, so it's cool to actually talk to you, man.
Yeah, yeah, because I've
Glad
seen
to
you.
see
I've
the
seen you in the
Puritans haven't
hangouts
burned
with.
you at the stake or anything yet.
I'm sorry. What?
I said it's good to see the Puritans haven't found you and burned you at the stake.
Well, I don't think they burned anybody in Salem.
Oh no no no! They what did they do? They hung them, I guess. There
There
was that
was,
book I read where they crushed them with rocks. Like they just stacked rocks on their chests until they couldn't breathe.
yeah, but I mean, compared to the European witch craze, Salem was nothing. Salem was like a drop in the
Oh
bucket.
yeah, it was like a non-event. It got
Yeah, it was a
blown
non-event. So
up.
people make a thing about Salem, but it was really not all that bad. I think there's only a couple of witch trials that actually happened in Salem. One of the most famous one was these two young girls who blamed their slave, or was she, or housewoman, housemaid, or something. I think she was a
Yeah,
slave,
that's what
but
the
they blamed her for witchcraft, or teaching them witchcraft, and then they did some kind of weird spasms on the floor. Basically, they're the SJWs of today. They just
yeah
point at somebody and say he's a Nazi, and everybody goes and punches them.
yeah. I mean that
It's,
was
it's, it's the same. It's the same thing. Everybody needs an enemy. Back then, it was witches. Then, in the early '50s, it was the communists, and now today, it's the Nazis.
yeah. 'Cause I don't think any of the people that they tried or executed or whatever, none of them actually like would have called themselves witches or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they were all just people that others got pissed at them and they're like, "Oh, fucking hang this person. I don't like him. They're a witch." Saw him doing magic.
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of history on the witch trials. Yeah, I mean, it lasted a very long time, like almost 500 years. But yeah, the majority of the people were Christians. They were just regular Christians who just lived their day by day thing. And what it was I still hear an echo. I don't know if you can turn it down a little bit more.
All right, how's that?
Yeah, that's better. So the people would, like, for example, like, let's say something would happen, like, one example, a man would become impotent, and the next day he would see, some crazy old lady or something, or want to blame his neighbor because his neighbor doesn't like him or whatever, or maybe their cow stopped producing milk, or chicken stopped laying eggs, or they stubbed their. I mean, literally anything bad that happened, they would believe that it was the cause of witchcraft, and then somebody must be causing the witchcraft, and so it must have been a witch. It must have been somebody causing bad stuff to happen to them. So it wasn't like the magistrates went around, pointing at people and saying you're a witch. The commoners, the people around them, labeled somebody as a witch, and then they would take them in and they would torture them, and basically you would confess to witchcraft, and then once you confess to witchcraft, then you would have your trial, and you would be burned at the stake or hung.
Damn, fucking assholes, man. That's fucked up.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, I agree with you, but it's the same thing like today. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
he's a Nazi, or she's a
It's like
Nazi.
Red Scare kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely the same thing. I mean, we like to think that we've evolved, but we actually haven't. It's the same thing. It's like, oh well, stuff is going on, so there must be Nazis behind it. And who's Nazis? Well, let's see, Republicans are Nazis.
Yeah, and it happens on the other side too. You got the like alt-right people who are like, "Oh, it's the Jews are behind everything." Uh,
Okay, yeah,
all over the place.
yeah, but I actually have to disagree with you for a second there, Red Devil, because I think that that's a very small percentage of. I know those people. Those
The
people
the
are
alt-right people?
crazy. No, the conspiracy people, the alt right,
Yeah, yeah.
those people who actually believe it's the Jews, it's actually a very small percentage of people.
I mean, I don't know. I know it's some of them. I know it's uh enough to where I'm aware of it. So I don't.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a Jew, so I'm not like a religious Jew, but
All right.
like
Well,
ethnically. So I get I'll just hear it and I'll be like, all right, well, fuck all of them then. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I
I
can
don't know.
understand that. But okay, so for example, like let's say you're watching TV, reading an article, seeing something on YouTube, how just your own ballpark figure compared to the amount of people who believe that there are Nazis, compared to the people that think that the Jews are trying to take over the world or
Believe
whatever.
that there are Nazis?
I don't know if I'm describing this. Okay.
I mean, to me, like, uh, I don't know. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. You're saying like the
Mhm.
number of people that are like blaming the Nazis, calling all of these people Nazis, like all of the people on the alt-right are Nazis.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a lot more, like
Yeah.
way more than the people that are blaming the Jews for sure. Yeah,
Right.
no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
I also have a thing with like, you had some people. I mean, I know you watch Devin, and he was on about saying like there are no Nazis and shit like that. I'm
mhm.
like, I understand what he's saying with that, but to me, like, if you're a neo-Nazi, I think it's perfectly fine just to say Nazi, like neo-Nazi, Nazi. It's just a shorter version. I don't really see the difference. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, they're Nazis from the 1930s. We have to fight these people and kill them. But
Mhm.
I mean, some, I guess,
Well,
they'll
yeah. I
justify
mean, I
punching
think that
Nazis and that kind of shit. It's stupid, but
yeah. I mean, yeah. The thing that I recognize that is happening is that these people are they're creating an enemy. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who have crazy ideas and call themselves Nazis, because I've actually known people in the '80s who wanted to be Nazis. I mean,
oh yeah,
they were racist skinheads who believed they kind of played Nazis. But if you talk to them, they actually weren't really Nazis. They were just they were just trying to be edgy or whatever. But I mean,
yeah,
I think that there is I think there is a small percentage of people who may be uh, you know, consider themselves like neo Nazis and wannabes. But those people, their numbers have grown only because of what all this stupid shit that's been going on the left,
oh yeah,
in my
that's
opinion.
for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah, I mean, it's natural, man, because like you saw it with the left. They all started grouping up, and it's kind of the same thing with both of them, and they're like I don't know what the term I'm looking for here is, but it's like the far left, I guess. But it's a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of like different groups. So you have like Antifa and Black Lives Matter and SJW type people, and there's a range all the way from like awful to just like, oh, this person is, uh, they're against racism or whatever. I don't know. And then the same thing on the right, where you have neo-Nazis and Klan people, all the way down to just far right, kind of alt-right type people.
Mm-hmm.
But and then they all group up together and stick together because that's what their opponents are doing. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that the thing that bothers me is, I mean, I like if somebody is a racist, if somebody's a white supremacist and somebody's a Klan member and somebody's a neo-Nazi, yeah, I agree. I think that we should call them out. I don't think that it's justified to commit violence against them unless you are actually physically defending yourself from being harmed.
oh yeah, I mean, I
But
think that should go without saying. I mean,
right,
unfortunately, like nowadays, it doesn't. But
yeah,
you have to. I mean, of course, like it's only justified in self-defense.
mhm,
I think it's insane when people think it's just fine to like be attacking people for saying things. That's stupid. I
yeah,
like if you do think that like the words is using are actually dangerous, like they're threatening or they're planning, well, contact law enforcement then.
mhm.
Like don't go be a fucking vigilante. It's insane, man.
Yeah, I mean, for example, when I was younger, like I said, I mean, I hung out in the San Francisco punk scene, and we had there was the San Francisco skinheads that were going around causing troubles, and I had a girlfriend who was black at the time, And they just completely just ostracized me and couldn't believe that I was like going against my race and all this stuff. And I was like, well, first of all, I'm not one of you. I'm not a fucking racist. So, you know, but they didn't like me because of that. But the minute we split up, then I was okay to hang out with them again. Of course, I didn't. The only reason why, just to be clear, the only reason why I ever hung out with those people is because my best friend, who I grew up with, hung out with them, and I mean, it was just a crazy time in my life. But
So you're a Wiccan?
I am, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I've never well, I met a few. Like actually, the only two real Wiccans I ever met before were when I was in the army. Um, when I was in basic training, actually, it was the first time I ever ran into Wiccans, and I I still am not like entirely sure. I watched some of your videos about
Mhm.
Wiccan, and I'm still not really sure like what it is. I mean, like one of the guys in the army, I asked him like, "Well, so what? Do you believe in a god or something?" And he
Right.
gave me a really weird answer. He was like, "Yeah, I believe in two gods, the sun and the moon." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Okay, I don't what? Like, does that mean
Okay.
anything to you? Do you know what he's talking about?"
Well, yeah. Okay. So the very first thing that I need to say is, people who study witchcraft, and Wicca is a part of witchcraft, which is a part of a larger body of occult and pagan studies. Um, it's a very individual path, is the best way to describe it. There's some people don't even consider it to be a religion. They consider it to be more of a spiritual direction, or a philosophy, a way of
Yeah,
looking at life. So you could talk to 20 people who identify themselves as a Wiccan, and you're probably going to get 20 different answers. That's just the way it is. We're all individuals. But I believe, and again, I can't speak for him, but I believe what he meant to say was that traditional Wicca, and this is like kind of like the core Wicca, has traditionally a male deity and a female deity. And these are representations of natural forces like the sun and the moon, life and death, man and woman, creation and destruction. It can represent a whole bunch of different things. So if he said that it represented the sun and the moon, yeah, that's probably what he meant. So there are Wiccans who are theistic, and they have, like, let's say there's pantheistic or polytheistic, I mean, even monotheistic Wiccans out there who believe that, male and female gods can become one and sort of become a one monotheistic deity. And myself, I am an atheistic Wiccan, meaning that I
oh, thank
don't.
God.
You're like, now you say thank God. Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it when I hear atheists say thank God.
Oh yeah, it's an expression.
Mhm. So in that sense, I don't believe in deities. I don't believe in spirits. I don't believe in ghosts. But I still look at the world and everything around me with a great deal of curiosity, and my mind is always open to things.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know.
I'm a lot the same way. I mean, I'm just a atheist. I'm against religion in general, but I don't really have a problem with like a lot of religions that are like the Wiccans and pagans and stuff. From what I understood of them, I couldn't see any reason that I would have a problem with them. Or like Buddhists,
Mhm.
for the most part, I don't really have a problem with them either. Like it's a lot like what you're describing. They can be, you can have a like a an atheistic or a theistic Buddhist. It's depending. I mean,
Right.
same with I don't know, a lot of other shit. Satanists are a lot. Satanists are. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you might know a lot more about them than I do, but to me, it seems like they're just basically atheists who are
Mhm.
trolling religion. Like
Yeah,
that's
I mean
kind
that's
of what it
yeah
seems
that's
like.
yeah that's pretty much when Anton LaVey created the Church of Satan. He was basically just kind of like flipping it around. I mean,
Yeah,
even the idea of the traditional, and they believe the witches did this, the Black Mass, was that you did everything in reverse of of the traditional Catholic Mass. And yeah, it was. It was kind of a way of giving the middle finger to Christians. They're like, well, we worship God and Satan is evil. And they're like, oh, well, okay, well, we worship the devil.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
wait a minute.
I'm
What
not
do
a
you mean you
Satanist, but
worship
I'll
the
still
devil?
do that whenever I see like the street preachers out on the corner. Give them like a drive-by "Hail Satan," yell it at them, and get a volcanic explosion of evangelism all over myself. It's that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same way. I like to troll Christians too, whenever I mean, actually don't go out looking for them, like just to go and fuck with them. But every so often, like there's some chat rooms I used to go into, like this one program called Now You See TV, and they're always making up bullshit lies about witches and pagans and
Oh yeah.
basically everybody who's not them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to go looking for these people. I find them I mean, I'm from Texas, so
Mhm.
I walk out my door and I can't like throw a rock without hitting a Christian around here that's trying to like get me to go to church or I don't know, like handing me cards. Like it's the weirdest shit, man. You'll just be walking around and someone will hand you a card and then you'll be like, okay, it's probably for like a charity or something. You read it and it's like some shit about like how bad abortion is and it's baby murder and you're like, oh my God, this is awful. Like
Mhm.
it's ridiculous.
See, I'm like the opposite. I think abortion should be the default. And if you want to have the kid, you should actually have to go through a whole process.
Like a Scientologist Sea Org kind of a thing.
No, I mean, have you ever known anybody who's had to adopt who wants to adopt a child?
No.
Well, okay, they have to go through so much shit to be able to adopt a child. I'm serious, they do. They have to
Oh
go.
yeah, but I would hope so. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't want just any old asshole to be able to like go and pick up a kid.
yeah, but you know what? I mean, all you got to do is just if you're a woman and you want to have a baby, boom, you have a
Yeah, that's
baby.
true.
That's it.
That's true.
And I mean, I'm not completely serious about this because it kind of interferes with freedom, but I think it should be a little more than just being able to have a child. I think you should
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
fill
we
out some
kind of have
paperwork.
like a really hard thing to like how are you going to enforce that? I mean, we kind of have the
Yeah.
like child protective services and shit, but they could be doing better. But I
Mhm.
mean, people just generally aren't a fan of like taking kids away. Like they only want to do it, if it's the worst. Like you have to be absolutely sure. This is kind of understandable.
Yeah, but some parents are fucking horrible. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they absolutely do not take the responsibility seriously. They have multiple children. They're not serious about it. They have either they're mentally unstable, they have drug habits, and I mean this is not the majority. This is a small percentage of people, but
yeah.
still, those people are not of the right state of mind to be having children, let alone multiple children.
Oh yeah. I've known people like that, where I was just shocked that like their kids had not been taken away. And it was the only reason I knew of them is because I had some friends who were taking care of these two kids. It was like their brother or brother-in-law. It was my friend's wife's brother had these kids, and basically they were living like the parents were living in some small like little trailer camper thing, and there was no room in there, so like the kids were sleeping outside in a tent, and it was
Mhm.
just they weren't going to school or anything like that, so they got sent to live with them until they basically had to send them back because they were like they were having their own kid and they just didn't have enough money or room to be taking care of two extra little boys. And I mean, I understand like they bounce kids around like that because like the system sucks. Like it
Mhm.
sucks to be, in foster homes and all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and then some parents they're not really prepared to have kids, and so they'll, abandon them or give them up for adoption, and I mean that's so yeah. I mean, I just think that there's so many people out there who really should not be having children who are having children, but that's
Yeah, I mean
you
that's
know,
to me it's just like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do? I guess like better information, like not teaching abstinence only bullshit in schools would be nice. Uh, give all the kids condoms, like whenever they turn 13 or whenever they start fucking nowadays. I don't know. Uh, just hand out condoms at school. Jesus. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but I don't even think that would help. I mean, I think that these people are like I said. I mean, they're like they have drug problems or they're mentally unstable, but they're still attractive. I mean, I've known women who are very attractive, but they're fucking nuts. I mean,
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
insane.
yeah,
You know? And they
yeah.
can basically get
That's
any guy they want. The guy's not going to hang around. He's gonna hit it and quit it,
yeah.
but still, yeah.
So what was
So
it?
how did you start watching Devin, or how long have you been
Oh
watching him?
God. I don't know, man. I've watched him for years.
Mhm.
Uh, he's like the one of the only people I really watched. I watched him whenever he was doing atheist stuff, and it was weird because he like after he lost his channel, I stopped. I was like, okay, I guess he's gone. And then like later, I saw him again whenever everyone switched from talking about that, and they're all talking about SJWs, and then like I see his fucking kangaroo icon pop up on someone else's, like he's responding to someone. I was like, oh shit, it's that guy again. So I started watching him, and like he's like I don't know, like I've watched a lot of YouTube, but I don't really follow, or up until recently, until I started making videos, I didn't really watch like a lot of other people's. I would watch like one or two people. Like I watched Devin. Uh, I started watching Reese, and
Mhm.
it's Nightmare Fuel,
Yeah.
and yeah, I like those guys a lot. And for the most part, I watch other people's videos. I just watch random shit. I might watch like a few just here and there of other people. Like I'm subscribed to a shitload, but I don't consistently watch them. That's kind of how I found your channel. Was I just saw you in Devin's chat and I saw your icon. And I was like, oh, it's a devil, and I clicked on it. I was like, oh, he's got a channel. Well, I'll see what this guy's about. And then I popped into your stream that one time, and I had no idea anything about you. And then like I hear you talking about covens and shit, and I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, are all of you people witches? Like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. Like I gotta know more. Like this is interesting, man.
I remember that. Yeah, because you
Yeah, I
talked
had
to me
no
back.
idea you were a
You're
witch
like
or
sitting there
anything.
talking, and then like you're all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, are you all witches?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Why? What do you think we're gonna eat you, convert you, or something?
Well, I didn't know, man. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the way I am is I really don't care what people believe as long as they're not harming themselves or anybody else.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
that's
a
that's kind of how
libertarian
I
kind of a
believe.
thing.
Huh?
Kind of libertarian
Yeah,
belief
I mean, I think that
wise.
I mean, I'm very much for a secular nation. I think the United States is and should be a secular nation, or it is and should maintain being a secular nation. And I don't think that any religion should interfere with who people can marry or what they can do with their bodies or anything like that. And I also don't believe that that any religion should harm people or promote harming themselves. And that's pretty much how I look at it. There's obviously factions of both Christianity and Islam which harms people. Especially Islam.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's my big thing, man. Is like I'm like I said, I'm atheist and anti-theistic. I'm very much against religion, but it's like I guess I shouldn't really I like not really just I say religion, but usually what I'm talking about is Islam and Christianity because
mhm.
those are the only ones that I really see as a big problem. I mean, you have other shit like I like Mormons, Scientologists. I have big problems with them too, but they're
Yeah.
so small that it's like I forget that they even exist.
Yeah. Well, the thing. I mean, yeah, that's why people say, what is the saying? It's religion is for people who don't want to think for themselves. Anyhow, I can't remember how it went, but there's a difference between like spirituality and religion. Religion's kind of organized, and then spirituality is just kind of like how the individuals believe. And I would say that probably most pagans are more spiritual than they are religious. They're not really organized bodies like Mormons or Scientologists, but still, people can go full crackpot even on New Age stuff and paganism.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
New Age stuff is crazy, man.
yeah, and I mean that's kind of how I that's one of the problems that I run into, because I mean I have my circles of people, and the majority of the people who I hang out with are people who identify as witches or pagans, but then they say some stuff and I'm just like, I don't agree with it, you know.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
mean,
yes.
but I'm also respectful. I know that that's what they believe, except when it starts getting to the point where it sounds like they're harming themselves or someone
Yeah,
else,
that's a
you
lot the
know.
way I am. Like I have like the way I am on the internet is not really I'm not that way in real life. Like I would never, I'll make videos responding to people and I'm a complete dick. But like in real life, if I disagree with someone, I'll let them know, but I'm not going to just be like hurling insults at them and stuff. Um, I mean, unless they like really pissed me off for some reason. But yeah, like the new age stuff is really crazy. I've run into people like that. I'm sure you probably more than I would even, but like there was this one YouTube channel actually that I used to watch, not really because I liked it. It was just so crazy that it was like watching a train wreck and you just couldn't turn away. It's called Spirit Science. I don't know if you've heard of
Oh
them.
no, I know
Oh my
exactly what you're
God,
talking
dude.
about.
The
Yes,
dude, the first time I was looking for like, because
yeah, that
I'm
guy's
really into
whack.
like looking up crazy ass conspiracy shit, like the far out shit people believe. Like I've gone down the rabbit hole of like all the flat Earth shit, like everything. And then so I'm just typing in, I'll type in random shit into the search bar. Like I typed in hidden history, and that's how I found that guy. And then the next thing I know, he's talking about how Jews are from outer space and like the Martians are like are part of the Illuminati. Like the Illuminati are Martians and the Jews come from outer space from another time, like from the future or something. It was crazy, but like it was so crazy. It was kind of entertaining.
Yeah, yeah, I've had my share of crazy conspiracy. I had this one guy come to my channel because I did this video on MK Ultra nonsense and Satanism, and we were chatting back and forth, and he was just spouting some crazy ass shit. I can't even remember what he was saying, but then he got to a certain point, and he's like, are you Jewish?" And I was like, "No, I'm." I mean, I didn't want to tell him that I was or wasn't, because I wanted to fuck with him. So I was like, well, what does it matter? What does it matter if I
Yeah.
am or if I'm not? And he's like, well, because you're part of the conspiracy. And I was just like, okay, all right, that's it, you know. But yeah, I don't know why Jews are brought into like nearly everything. You know
Well,
what I
here's
mean?
the thing I think about it. Like I did that one video about with the alt-right guy or about him. And oh, yeah, by the way, like the alt-right well, at least I mean, I've only got like 100 people subscribed to me, but uh, of the videos, some of my videos will get like a shitload of views, and it's usually if a video of mine blows up, it's because people don't like they hate it. Like I
Right.
did one on Abby Martin has like 1,000 views, and it's all just it's got like 50, 60 downvotes now. I don't even know, and just I get shitloads of comments on it. But like the alt-right were the first ones to actually start like sending me death threats and just blew up my phone like overnight. It's
Wow.
like Jesus. The guy I did a video on wasn't even a big channel either, so I don't know where these people came from.
Who was the guy?
I don't. What's his name?
Was
Vinny?
it Richard Spencer?
No, 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 no. It was a small guy. Like the guy has
Uh,
like 1,500 subscribers. It's less than 2,000, and he's just really weird. Like he's how do I describe him? Well, just to give you a sense, he's like the trifecta of the far right. So this guy is an anarchist, fascist, MGTOW, alt-right Jew conspiracy guy.
huh.
So
Wow.
yeah, he's pretty fucking crazy. And
He's everything. Everything
yeah,
but the kitchen sink.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I did a video where I was basically just making fun of him. Oh yeah, and to get back around to my point about the Jews. So his whole thing and most of their thing is about like, oh well, you see the Jews occupying like areas of media, and
Oh yeah.
they're like not just the media but bankers and all of these other things. And my whole thing on that is that like to me that's just I think it's probably linked to the fact of the all the curve stuff with the Jews having a really high IQ, so they're overrepresented in these areas. Plus, there's other factors. It's cultural things that the Jews do that are they're going to go into those professions more and make more money and be more successful.
Mhm.
And so they end up doing that, and then they see this, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Like, the Jews are overrepresented in all of the rich people, and the bankers, and the media, and actors, and comedy, and
Comedian,
all
right?
these things, and they freak out. But what they don't realize is they're not all on the same team. Like, the Jews aren't a hive mind. These people they disagree politically like wildly. And like the guy in his video is talking about how the neocon Jews and the far left liberal Jews are really, even though they disagree in public and advocate for different things, really behind closed doors, it's all for one purpose.
Right.
Like, this is
Right. Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah, I
crazy.
know because it's the same thing happens with me because they believe that like all witches and all pagans and all Satanists are of a hive mind. And they don't understand that we're all individuals. We all have individual beliefs, and not all of us agree with everything. Many of us have very different political leanings and different beliefs. I mean, it's just crazy. But they just assume that somehow there must be some kind of a unifying factor to. I mean, it's just, I mean, when you start looking into some of these conspiracies that people believe and you start like trying to break it down and talk to them about it, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They literally have to bend everything to fit some sort of a worldview. And they're just absolutely insane. It's so difficult to actually talk to somebody who believes these things. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I noticed whenever, like I was talking about, whenever I wandered into your stream that one time, and I was trying to ask people all these different things about, well, so what do you guys think about this, or what about magic? And like every question I asked was basically like, it depends on who you ask. Like, we all have different opinions on that, like for everything. Um, like, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean it can be difficult, especially if you're trying to like find out about. I mean, because yeah, it's yeah, people like, oh, okay, you're this. So what do you believe, or what do you think about that? And I mean, it's for me, it's a very common question. I mean, I've been practicing it ever since I was 13 years old, so I'm very used to people asking me questions about it. Um,
So were you like raised that way? Was it like a family thing?
no, 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 no. I wasn't raised in a family of witches. No, it was just when I was growing up, we just didn't really have any particular religion. My mother considered herself to be a Catholic, but the closest thing that we ever went to a church was a Unitarian church, Unitarian
Oh yeah,
Universalist church.
I've never been to one
So
of those.
yeah, so I mean, it was a very loose, open home. Well, not loose, open home, but I mean, we were basically free to explore whatever we wanted to explore. And I grew up in the Bay Area, and I had some friends of mine who were into paganism, and so I got into it, and just it was something that just resonated with me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into it. But I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so I get people asking me questions about stuff all the time, so I just understand that people are just naturally curious about it. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, like, because if you think, like, most people, like me, like, you hear witch and you're thinking,
Right.
like Harry Potter, you're thinking, like,
Hmm.
Wizard of Oz, you're thinking that
Right.
kind of shit. And you're like, what? That, I didn't think that was a real thing. And, but, like, I mean, I knew a little bit more about it than that. Like, I knew about Wiccans and pagans vaguely. I knew that they didn't, or at least none of the ones I'd ever met, which I'd met like three,
Hmm.
none of them actually believed in like supernatural kind of magic, like I can shoot a fireball out if I try hard
Well,
enough or
right.
something like that. But I mean, sure, there's probably some that do. I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that most people are pretty realistic about what they can and cannot do with magic. I mean, it's you can't cause something to come spontaneously come into existence. You know, that's not the way it works. I don't. You can't change the past. You can change the present and the future. Um, but again, everybody's going to have a different opinion about that too. But yeah, I mean, if people believe that they can wave a magic wand and have gold suddenly appear in front of them, yeah, they're living in a fantasy world.
Yeah, I mean that's like I mean I don't know because like I had heard people, not witches, but like more New Age type people that are into
Mhm.
more Eastern type of religions, some of them actually do believe that they can like attain superpowers. Like there's a whole school of these people. I think it's either Buddhist or Hindu, but they focus on meditation and they cross their legs in like the lotus position and
Mhm.
hop around, and they think that eventually they'll be able to fly. Like they can like humans used to be able to fly, and they think by thinking happy thoughts like Peter Pan and hopping and bouncing, eventually they're going to be able to levitate. And you've got the guys who will like in martial arts will like throw balls of chi and knock people out, um, which isn't really a real thing. It's more like it's almost like hypnosis because it doesn't work on anyone except their own students. So
Right.
it's
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about that to actually talk about chi energy and all that. I mean, I've known. I mean, Bruce Lee was able to do. I think it was called a 1 inch punch,
oh yeah. See,
and
that's different. I'm talking about no physical contact. Like
right.
this guy's standing across the room and he like throws a ball of invisible energy and knocks the person down.
Hmm.
Um, it that doesn't make any sense to me. But there is some things with the meditation that you can do that I wouldn't consider it supernatural, but it's amazing. Like you can see those monks who can like raise their core body temperature by
Hmm.
meditating
Right.
up to like not an insignificant amount, like quite a bit to where like you'll see them out in I mean they're in the cold, which makes it look steamier in it, but they can like basically make steam come off of themselves.
Hmm.
Uh, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I've seen those. I've seen those. There was a documentary done on that too. Um, yeah. I mean, meditation is definitely a big part of my practice, and I think that meditation has definitely been proven to benefit uh, people, reduce stress, help you to focus and to concentrate. To lower. Um, just to be able to concentrate and to lower stress. But I don't think that it's gonna like. I don't think I'll ever be able to, fly or, I don't know if I'll ever even be able to raise my core body temperature. Who knows? Maybe I
Oh
will,
yeah,
but
I mean
I doubt it.
you probably have to practice a lot to do that. I mean I don't know. I've had some weird like experiences, but I said I don't believe in supernatural stuff, but like I've had an out of body experience before.
Hmm.
'Cause I'm pretty sure I know what happened though, because I used to work at this job where I didn't have too much to do, so a lot of the time I was basically on call and I could sleep. And but it wasn't like I was sleeping in a chair, so it wasn't very restful.
Hmm.
I started having a lucid dream, which is something that happens to me like a lot. It's pretty cool, but this time like I started like and so it's like anytime that happens, like I can control, I start flying around in my dream. It's really fucking cool. And I fly up super high and then like I'm all of a sudden I can see myself like in actual reality, my work uniform with my radio sitting there on like above my body. And I think what happened was I was asleep, but like I physically opened my eyes. And
Hmm.
so I was still asleep, but I could see, like sleeping with your eyes open. It was really weird, man. That was one of the weirdest things. It felt like I was above myself, but I'm pretty sure I just opened my eyes while I was sleeping. It was really fucking weird, man. So like I've had some weird shit happen, but I don't, jump like.
So when you were sort of above yourself, looking down on yourself, what happened then?
Oh, well, so it was only for a few seconds. And like the whole thing was, like I said, I was lucid dreaming. So I was flying and like I was making stuff appear in my dream. And I was going up higher and higher and higher. And then like it blacks out. And then I open my eyes and like I see my body in my work uniform and my radio. Like I couldn't see my face though. So I
Mhm.
think it was kind of an optical thing. But then I immediately like sunk back down. It went black again. And then I was back in my dream and I fell back down through the like the city thing I was making
Hmm.
and back down in my dream. It was really weird, man. Like I've had trippy moments lucid dreaming. It might be all the drugs I've done. I don't know. Uh no, that's another thing, man. Have you ever you do the drugs?
No, I'm
No.
I'm I'm 50 years old.
Oh, you're
I've done,
50?
yeah.
But I
I,
mean back when you were younger you didn't because you
yeah,
would have
well,
grown
well,
up, you're
when I was
50, you would have
younger,
been a
yeah,
grown up in the 70s, man, like dazed and confused, dude.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was a teenager, I did. Yeah, but not
So,
anymore. No.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really anymore either, other than alcohol.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Did you ever try like shrooms, acid, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, both.
Did you
I
ever
mean,
do
I pretty much
DMT?
did almost everything. There's a couple that I did not do, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I did.
Did you ever do like DMT or peyote?
Peyote, but not
You
DMT.
did peyote?
DM,
Holy shit,
yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
crazy.
DMT wasn't a thing back when I was growing up.
Well, I mean, they had like it probably wasn't like a thing. It's still really hard to get, but like it was around. I mean, it's been around for like ayahuasca is DMT, but that's not like
Mm,
it's not a street drug. You have to go to like South America and find some
right, right.
tribe that is boiling up pots of it or wherever they get that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, I mean, no, I never did. I never did DMT. I never did PCP.
Oh God, yeah. I never did any like super bad drugs like PCP or crack or meth. Um, I did like the basic shit. Like, of course, I smoked weed and stuff in high school. Uh, I've done, coke and stuff, but those drugs aren't really that interesting to me.
Mhm.
That's kind of like you'll do that at parties, and then like you grow out of it. But the like mushrooms and acid, uh, you can have some fucking weird fucking trips, man. And it's like it'll make you rethink everything about the fucking world, dude. Like, 'cause you'll be sitting there like I remember the first time I did a lot of shrooms, I was sitting there and I had to take a piss, and I'm looking at my dick, and I'm like, this is the weirdest thing in the world, man. Like this, like I don't know how to describe it. Like cell phones become really weird. You're just like, Jesus Christ, I can like fucking call someone, and it sounds stupid now that I'm sober, but
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably just the state of mind you're in. Yeah,
oh
I mean,
yeah.
I understand because there's all kinds of weird stuff that has happened to me when I
But it
was
does
on
make
different
you think
drugs.
like what it does to me, or what those things did to me, is make me think like the world is just fucking strange, man. Even when you're not on drugs, like you don't notice it because you're used to it. But like just the way everything works, like when you're thinking about like what a fucking human being is, fucking cell phones, all this shit, man. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. See, when I was doing drugs, we didn't have cell phones, so
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
probably would have really thought it was
You could
weird.
be tripping out about your rotary dial,
Yeah.
VCRs.
Yeah, I mean, there was several things that happened to me when I was, yeah, but yeah, but I don't, yeah, I don't even smoke pot anymore. I drink beer, and I'm all for legalization of drugs because people are gonna do drugs no matter what. It doesn't matter.
Oh
You
yeah.
can try to make it illegal. You can
And
do
it's
all of this stuff.
stupid to try and stop them, man. It does no one any good. I don't
Yeah, I
understand the
mean, just
point.
you might as well just control it and
Yeah.
tax it, and then use that money to make recovery homes. Because let's say out of 100 people who do, let's say heroin, for example, either smoke it or shoot it, whatever they do, probably maybe 10 of those people are going to need. I'm just pulling this statistic out of my ass. I don't know for sure, but let's just say 10% of those people will need a recovery home. You know, they'll become
Yeah.
addicted to it. A lot of people don't become addicted to drugs. Just because you do a drug doesn't mean you become addicted to it. You
Only thing I
usually
ever
do it once and then you find out, wow, that's not for me.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've ever been addicted to was cigarettes. I mean, perfectly legal and really hard to quit. But I've never done heroin and stuff. But like coke is supposed to be. People say it's super addictive. I've done it a number of times, and I've. It's just not like I never really felt like doing it again. I basically just stopped. It's not.
Right.
'Cause you feel like shit the next day after you do uppers and things like that. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So I mean,
But
I
I think
think
it should
that
all be legal, though. I think it's
yeah,
crazy, man.
yeah, it is
But
because
I don't know. I do have mixed feelings about like I don't know exactly how it would be implemented or how it would work out. I don't want it to be a thing to where you can like just go down to your local gas station and get a crack rock. Like, I think that's probably not the best idea. Like, there's probably some better way of doing it than that. But
No, it would probably be like some kind of a medical facility or
yeah,
something like that, where you would go in and you would be able to get a certain amount. You know.
yeah, and they could monitor you, and you can make sure it's clean or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Um,
Because that's one thing. Because like I said earlier, back in the day, here in San Francisco in the punk scene, there was a bad batch of heroin that was going around, and there were a couple of people who died from it. You know,
yeah,
and
uh,
it was bad heroin.
it might also
And
be useful if you're going to do that, and then you know who these people are. Like, I think that would make people less likely to do it. Like, you
mhm.
know, someone's kid goes down there and gets their crack or heroin or whatever, or they're trying to get it. Then they're going to be like, "Oh, contact your parents and just let them know, like, your kid's doing heroin."
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, anyhow, I'm just all for legalization of drugs. I think they should just, but yeah, I mean, they would regulate it so you would actually like go into maybe a medical facility or something and you would get it, and you wouldn't want to do it on the street. You like, let's say if you're going to go to a party, maybe you could go to a bar, and maybe the bar would have like maybe a smoke room or drug room or whatever. Maybe you could go in there and do it. So there would still be people there just in case something happened, and they had to call an ambulance or something, or if you're at home. But I wouldn't want to see like people out on the street like in Amsterdam, where people are just like shooting up on the streets, and
Oh God, I didn't know it
that's
was like that there.
yeah. I mean, that's here in San Francisco. We pretty much have that. There's people nodding off in the street. There's a needle next to them, and I mean, but that
Christ.
drugs aren't legal yet. But still,
Yeah, it's already. Yeah, I just need to take care of something in a second. I'll be right back, man. Just a couple
sure,
minutes.
sure. So, all right. Well, he'll be back in a few minutes. So let me see. I've been losing track of the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay, you guys are talking amongst themselves. Hello, Matthew. How's it going? Nick B. Oh, Mary, I'll have to check in with you, see how everything's going. Because I would be interested in interviewing those people. I mean, if they want to, or maybe I can contact them, see if they're interested in that. I also wanted to find out. There's a guy in England who's he's in charge of the Dorian Valiente museum, getting that started. There's a couple of them. Well, there's several of them, but he's like one of the main people. And so I always wondered if this guy in England knows about the people in Canada, because it'd be nice to hook them up. I'm sure they're probably aware of each other, but let me see. Yeah, I should. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know them. I'd be contacted. They'd be like, "Who is this guy? Why are you contacting us?" But I'll message you on Facebook. I am trash. Hello, hello. You are trash, or I am trash. Hello. So yeah, so we're probably going to be wrapping this up. Just catch me up. So we're probably going to be finishing this up as soon as he gets back, because there's a friend of mine, Billy Bong, who's doing a hangout right now, and he's interviewing Phil Anselmo from Pantera, the lead singer from Pantera, and he's a lead singer of a couple of bands. He's involved in a couple of bands. I don't think Pantera is still together anymore. But anyhow, I want to catch that interview, and that's happening right now. I thought it was going to be starting at my time, 7 p.m. So, but I had the time differences messed up, because I was just going to do this for about an hour right before Billy's hangout. But then somebody just tweeted me and told me that it's happening right now. So they actually started an hour ago. So, but I want to go and check that out. That's happening on his channel. Can you link us? Yeah, I think I can. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find his channel. But yeah, they just started about an hour ago. Yeah, here it is right here. So let me. So yeah, they started 2 hours ago. Oh wow, okay. So it's been going on for a little while. They'll probably go on for another hour or so. So okay, so here's the link I'm putting in the chat. This is to Billy Bong, who's doing the chat with Phil and Selmo. So that's what that link is. That's his channel. So I'm gonna be. So
I'm back.
hey, how's it going? So I was just telling the chat that you know Billy Bong, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know him. I know who he is.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, you've seen his channel. He's having the Phil and Selmo interview right now, and I thought he was going to be doing it at 7 p.m. So that's why I wanted to do this one at 6, because we were just going to go like an hour. But I just realized now that they actually started at 5 my time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut this short. But it was great talking with. Now, what do you like to be called? Do you like to be called Red Devil or?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. You can call me that. You can call me Tom. That's my name.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll call you Red Devil. So.
All right, that's cool.
So this was fun. We'll have to do it again sometime. I want to get
Yeah,
a
for
couple
sure,
more
man. It's
people
really
in here.
interesting.
Yeah.
I need to find out more about witchcraft.
Well, sure. I'll tell you whatever you want, but I'm not going to convert you.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, Red Devil, it was fun hanging out with you, and I'm going to head over to Billy's channel, and I'll be in contact with you again. Maybe we can do this next week.
Yeah, for sure, man. Take it easy.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.